Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave daily update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Thursday, November the 21st, 2024. And my computer was acting strange, and I was wondering, is the recording on? Is it not on? And so it really is fitting to what's kind of going on in the markets. So I've really deconstructed and rebuilt both the S&P and the NASDAQ, just trying to attempt to put some sense around what I'm seeing. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of patience as I indulge everybody into what I am seeing right now and how all of this fits into possibly what may be coming. Now, again, just on the outside, I am leaving this as minuet wave 1, and that we remain within the minuet wave 2. All right. Granted, we've all been looking at this, and we've all been thinking, okay, maybe we got this 1 2 1 2 going and all this other stuff. I'm going to go over that in just a minute. But what I deconstructed and tried to rebuild was the fact that this marker, this November the 11th high, really could have completed minuet wave 5, minor wave 5, and intermediate wave 3. I reconstructed the fibs. Granted, this went above, but not that much further above any of them, which would have completed the intermediate wave 3, the minor wave 5, or the minute wave 5. They were all definitively within the room for error, plus or minus, a few points. So they really can. But I think what kept me thinking that we still had a lot more to go was A, the rally, B, what we still had coming, earnings wise, C, that we saw this big massive rally due to what they were pinning their hopes and dreams on, an election result. And I think somehow still that's out there, that's in there. But since that point, and during this correction, we have seen some punches in the face in terms of the market getting punched in the nose, in the face, whatever you want to call it, and just taking a dump. And then having the hardest time, right? Even if I'm calling this one and I was thinking calling that wave 2, this should all be wave 3. Really? Now, outside chance that we could have thought, okay, maybe it's this diagonal wave 1. No. Now I'm going to show you something. During all of my deconstruction and reconstruction, I take things down often to the line chart. And this is where I start to see, oh yeah, that's 3. Okay, I can see the pattern. Line chart is nothing more than the close. So what we're doing, or what the line chart does is it takes the extremes out so that we can see on a candle, that we can see in a bar chart. But a line chart, particularly this one that I'm using on Thinkorswim, takes those out, and it goes on a closing basis. So here we are. Now I want to draw your attention to this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 down. I had thought before it could be 3 down. It's not. It's 5. And that comes after an ABC up. So it cannot be a completing wave, right? A 5 waves down all by itself, just in this current position, what would it be completing in terms of what we're trying to count here? It didn't make a new low. It didn't, it's just kind of sitting there. So, but what it can be is A, B, and then we get the C wave. Now notice again, the close basis that all of this is coming in. Now, bear this all in mind. I'm going to go back out, take it out. I'm going to put it back on the bar chart. See what we had this morning? Right off the opening, again, after the market goes up, and for the sequence, gets itself back above 20,900 and proceeds to go from 20,905, almost 906, and drops all the way back down to 20,514, all in 2 hours. Well, basically, I'm going to say, it really was like an hour or even less, to be honest with you. So what do we have going on? And then from there, we hit that low and roared up off of it. So again, I'm thinking, okay, well, what if that completes this in a way that it was a failure, an ABC, and we're calling it like this could be A, this could be the B, and then what, up here's the B, and then flipping back down here could be the C, and we could put the 2 over there. Well, then that's going to make it pretty difficult, right? Because it's like, I got to think, okay, if this is A and this is the B, did we come down in 5? There is that possibility. But then if I'm going to put the C, I'm going to put the 2 over there. This whole action here ends up being a failure, right? And then it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. If this is going to be, even if we're counting it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from here, and that's an ABC down, and we can put, or a 1, 2, and a 3, and all of this somehow gets into be 4. Well, the 4 needs to end up here. And then we're coming down off of that, and then we went all the way back up on it. So then it no longer fits into anything. So I'm leaving it kind of like in this strange little pattern. This is 3. This is 3. This seems to be a 5. This seems to be a 5. Then we got a whole bunch of new series of 3s. Then we get 5. So I'm leaving A, B, C, putting a B wave there. We get a C wave up. That's going to be this B wave of this 2. And we come back down again. That's how I'm leaving this right now. But I constructed, deconstructed, constructed, deconstructed for a good hour from the close. And looking at all the different things. Now, one other thing. This would leaving, okay, if I'm leaving that as minuet wave 1, and we're going to come back down, here are the markers for any balance of a C wave down, if this is A, and we're going to end up putting a B up here when this is done. Or, I got to put an A, and this could be a B, and this is like, God knows. ABC, A, or just an ABC, X, A, B, C, 2? I don't know. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on. And I have to tell you, it's like, I really do, and I don't brag, but I do have 37 years experience doing Elliott Wave and at least 35 publishing my analysis. I published in Europe. I published in the US. I published on numerous markets. So it's not like, new to the game here, but these moves are presenting such a challenge to me and to the, really what becomes valid, what becomes usable, what becomes of Elliott. Now I know we've got WXYZs and we got all those newer additions to how we form the waves. And those were put out by Elliott Wave International and a few other people. Granted, great, they work. But even if I have to kind of put this together in terms of we have a WXYZ or something else going on in here, that is very true. It could be. It could be. And and I have to stay open to it. But I'm telling you, I just think that it's not done, and we still have more downside to go. Now, I'm leaving it in the context of the minuet, which leaves open our upside picture, which a lot of other analysts or people that in the big firms and the research people, they're all kind of still leaving it up in the air that yes, we should still see a strong rally. We should still, the market's still in really good shape. And it's like, wow, okay, if this is what you want to call really good shape, or we not really got to depend on that Nvidia, oh yeah, let's count on them. Count on them for what? That they're going to carry the weight of all the indexes, all the ETFs, everything else, that this one stock, this one company is going to pull everything else up with it. You start to kind of lean on that and go like, come on, really? All right, back to the alternate, which by the way still sits on the shelf. As badly as I want to pull it off that shelf, and I almost did today, but I thought, wow, that would really cause a rumbling. So I'll probably wait. Don't laugh, but I'll probably wait and do it over the weekend. So I'm going to let the market trade tomorrow and let's see. But if you remember, I began to talk and I let me just pull it up in the 4 hour. And I know I'm going to go a little bit over my time frame here today, but bear with me. That here I have the three, the minor three, the minor four, and now if this completed all the way up to intermediate wave 3, and we're going to drop down an intermediate 4th wave, you've heard the discussion. And I said, well, maybe we can get down there real quick. This took not very long at all. That is July the 11th. This was August the 5th. Get this catch now. Really, follow me on this. This is November the 11th. What if by December the 5th we're down here? How would that be? The exact same time frame again? Could this actually happen? This is kind of what I came up with earlier today. I was like, wow, okay. What if? So that's out there, and I'm leaving it out there. And guess what? Oh my, one last thing about using this 4 hour chart. I know I'm laughing with myself, guys. I'm laughing with myself that this portion of it was due to the unwinding of the yen, of the carry trade in the yen. Well, guess what? They're dumping into and putting on over here. The yen trade, the carry trade again. They're piling into it again. I'm like, oh my God. Well, what's it going to take for traders not to continue to do these silly things? So is it a setup? Is it another setup for the exact same thing with the exact same time frame, with the exact same patterns, right? Remember how this was when we were coming down? We're like, okay, those all look like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 5. Or what are we doing here? Or is this an ABC? So we had, get the B wave in and then come back down in a 5. What are we doing here? Right? Let's open it up. What are we doing here? And A, what are we working on? Getting a B wave in. Why? Well, then we're going to come down in a C wave. And the only way that it's going to come in the size that we would need it to be, if it's going to be triggered by some, okay, we're going to pile out of that carry trade, well, then this has to be intermediate wave 3. Just saying. Nothing's cast in stone yet, but just be prepared. That's my main factor. I'm just going to continue to trade. Members have been talking about this week. I've been talking about that. Well, we have enough powder kegs in our geopolitical sphere that could be ignited real quick. And all the markets are going to react. They will react. There's a lot of strange things going on in our world. not just here in the US, but in our world. So, but what happens in the meantime? We just continue to trade. I got to tell you, there were opportunities today, lots of opportunities, really great opportunities. This whole swing lower this morning, my God. It was like, okay, all you got to do as a day trader, you just had to kind of go along with it. And you're walking away with 500, 800, $1,000, more than $1,000. You're done for the day. You go off and enjoy the rest of your day. That's what was becoming available. And then they ran it all the way back up, which gave you more opportunity if you hung out. So again, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. We just trade. And I don't really get into the why. Oh, who's bullish, who's not? Why are they putting that bearish move? What is this? What is that? It's like, I don't really care. And we really shouldn't. It's like to try to pin what's going on is going to take away precious time from you to trade. And if your goal is to be a trader, whether it's a swing trader, whether it's a position trader, whether it's an options trader, whether it's a futures trader, there's a lot of opportunity because things are moving, because volatility is getting cranked up in some things and others. A lot of things happening, and it's presenting a lot of opportunity. Now, back to the game plan. Bearing in mind everything I said, I am actually leaving this as minuet wave 1, and if we go back up to finish this small ABC for the B wave, right? There's our markers. We can come back up. Right now, we're not. So there's that possibility that it's going to come in a little bit strange. And maybe that completed it. I don't know. We got a lot of trading between now and tomorrow's opening. So we'll see. But getting a C wave done and then coming back down an ABC to complete the B wave and then come back down in that sub-minuet C wave to put in minuet wave 2. And here's our markers down in the bottom. Cannot go below 20,013. If we come flying down, because it's somewhere, don't forget tomorrow's Friday, right? When did that last time that happened? Remember clearly, it was August the 4th. It was August the 4th because it was a Sunday and Globex opened. And I remember commenting to myself, like, holy crap, look at that. The NASDAQ futures down 1,000. I'm telling you, it's getting weird. Or we just kind of hang out. We do all this stuff and start to come down in that C wave, a bigger C wave, right? And it takes us out until past Thanksgiving, or it comes in quicker. I don't know. All right, but I'm leaving it as is for right now with this still on the shelf, but I'm well aware. I'm following what the news stories are telling me. I'm listening to all the little things that are coming in that could blow us up while we're not watching. And just gonna be ready. So I'm presenting all sides that I can think of. Leaving it as if we still have upside to go. That's what I think the market's still thinking that it's going to do. But I want to show you, we don't need to. You're seeing it. Every time they try, they pull it back. They throw it back. They run it up. They throw it back. They run it up. Maybe they throw it back. So keep seeing that. Now, granted, we got a lot of stuff being shuffled around. We got a lot of stuff like, one day it's like we're going to buy Apple, then the next day we're selling Apple, but we're selling Amazon because Justice Department wants to break up Google or at least get them to spin off Chrome, whatever. But that starts to pull the market in one direction. And then we had NVIDIA, up, down, up, down. Okay, that pulls in another direction. So opportunity, that's the key word. Opportunities abound. So I'm looking for, let's see if we can finish a C wave inside this to put in a B wave, and then we're going to come back down. If we hold to these levels, then and we come down in 5, then it's going to make sense that it's a C wave. We're going to put that minuet wave 2, and then again, once again, I'll look for that stronger wave 3 rally to kick in. Okay? That's how I'm going to leave this right now. Still looking for one more leg down. finish up this C wave, that sub minuet C wave, to finish the sub minuet B wave, and then drop it down so that we can finish the minuet wave 2. All right, let's go over and take a look at the S&P. Now, a little bit different, but still the same. This is a 3. This is a 3. This is a 3. So is the, excuse me, is the C wave unfolding in a diagonal? And you're going to go, what is this guy talking about? Well, I got my A wave. I got my B wave. Let me see again. Pull it down to the line chart and look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't be a B wave, can it? So it has to be an A wave. And I wanted to show you that because I wanted to leave it and then show you it. So those of you that think I got to take that off and, oops, I didn't want to duplicate it. I wanted to remove it. Extensions and remove it. And then so we've got to redraw these. So this is A, and I got to move just, I can leave it there actually. A, oops, A, and then, come on, please don't do that. And then this is A of B, B of B, right? A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C. Do I put a B wave? Do I dare put that B wave up there? I'm going to. Actually, I just need to move this. Activate, put it up here. And this is A, B, and actually the B wave's going to come in. A, B, and the C wave down, and that's going to be, no, I got it all wrong. All right, I'm just going to leave it here. But to realize that this is the A, that's the internal up for the B wave. The B wave ends up here. And so it's going to be 5 down. That's got to be A of B. And then A, B, C, B of B. Gets cranky, gets really weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the C. I'm going to leave it. I think I need to put this B up here. So yes, I'm going to leave it, but it can't be the B. But I'm going to leave it there for right now. And if I put the C up here and go inside, do that, do that, do that, do that, and put this up. And somehow, actually, I'll probably just take it all off and put the B up there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, nope. I'm going to take all this off because I don't really like it. So I don't want to mislabel. I'll figure that out in a minute. And I'm going to change this over to this. Now that puts the the S&P a little bit above or a little bit ahead of the NASDAQ, which I think may still need to come up. Maybe. Now get this back over and put this on that bar chart. So because I could go A 5 D, put the B wave there, and then we're working the C wave. So if I had to, I'll go back. Put that the 1A, and this is the internal A, B, C, B, C, B. So running, and then we're in a C wave up. There's that possibility. So it can keep it clean because they both had the same deal. They both came out with that 5 down off of that high. So which left open the possibility that it was still also running, but it was a failure. And then that would have meant that we were starting into the third because I would have put that wave 2 here. But these are all 3s. That took that one away. So here we are. But I'm leaving it in that same fashion, and that it's 1 and I'm working on the 2. So what we got is if that C wave, if the B wave is done, here's where our C wave comes in. Catch it all. We got the 100% right there and the 618 down below, which we know it cannot do. So we go in and we take this off and we do this. We do 618. That should just be, that's the color. It's got to come down to this, and the 618 we're not using because it's too far. And we're going to go out like that and go like that. So now we got this. So if it is a B and we're looking for a C wave before we can put that minuet wave 2 down here, perfect. Got a little cluster, 5794 down to 5790, and that might complete it, and that's where C equals A. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. We might have a little bit additional upside, and then we'll start again, and we'll just readjust that fib level by moving this up to the completion point, or we just start down from here. And again, in the NASDAQ, I can do the same, where it could be done, and we're just starting down in that C wave. Again, if it's going to be inside and it's going to be on the minuet degree, it can't break that level. It can't break 5724. That invalidates the count, and as is. And then brings us back up to where this possibly is intermediate wave 3. And again, if we're going on that basis, that's an intermediate wave 3, then what we've got going on is an A, a little bit bigger, B, a little bit bigger, and we're dropping in a C wave. But again, all in development still. But the same, what we're calling in the NASDAQ or seeing possibility in NASDAQ exists here as well. In fact, it's much cleaner here. This high, way above that high. So it all really does fit. All right, so moving averages. Let's just take a look. I like to go out to the daily to do that. Let's take a peek. They kind of get lined up, and here they are, really still lined up to go up. On the daily, they're not really all that excited. They'll probably still kind of 50 will go flat, and we're going to come down pretty close to it. If it were to go flat, it's not that much further to finish this, put the minuet 2, and then we go. Otherwise, we come down, and we come down a lot further. So, in fact, we open this up, and we come down all the way to here, if it's intermediate. All right. Tomorrow, let me look to see what we got coming out in terms of data. Nothing. Well, we have S&P Flash Services PMI and the manufacturing PMI and consumer sentiment. The first two come out at 9:45 a.m. Eastern, and then 10 a.m. we have consumer sentiment. And that's it for the numbers. All right, I am going to end it there because I really did go, I think, past my time frame. Thank you for indulging me in really going over all of this. And again, I leave it open. I try to give both sides so that we're prepared and that we don't get a surprise. Because the thing is, for me, folks, I was an options trader. I've done a lot of positions. I've had to manage positions. I've had to work my positions. And then I became a day trader. So I don't carry overnight positions. It changes how I trade, to be honest with you. So I'm coming each day fresh, and no matter what the market does, I will find the opportunity and attempt to make money on the day. And so it's different, and I get that. If you're a position trader and you're really looking for an upside or downside move, and you're just getting all this playing in between, it can become very frustrating, and it could cost money. Swing trades, yep, I'm hearing about people getting caught up in that. So yep, I get all that. So I try to present as best as I can what I think is actually going on. And you can tell the market is not being very clear. You know, we all put our weight on, okay, what's NVIDIA going to do? Well, they report their earnings, the stock goes down, the stock goes up first thing this morning, hits 152, and then they annihilate it. What was that? Well, I mean, let's just take it up and get it, to monetize whatever we wanted to monetize, and then boom, we're done and we're going to drop it down. So again, all up in the air. Next, the next daily update will be on Monday, September 22nd, 24th, 25th of November, Monday, the 25th of November. And I will be putting out a weekly update over the weekend. And in the meantime, have a great trading day tomorrow and have a great weekend.